Okay, so before we try our sequence E, G, D and A together, let's try and look at the chord change from G to D. Now I've always found this one a little tricky when I first started because the two chords don't really share any common strings or any common notes as such. So the shapes are completely different. So we'd like to start with the G chord, and remember when you change to a G from any other chord shape, make sure that you play, I would suggest you play that sixth string as the first note. I've had students that place their fingers starting with the first string and then coming to the fifth and then the sixth string. And it's a bit back to front because you can actually play that chord and just with one finger, G. You get the same sort of sound. Adding the other fingers in obviously gives you a couple of the other notes that make the chord, but that one note is G on the sixth string. And if you can hit that nice low bassy note, and then the other fingers can follow, then you'll be on your way to making a good chord change. So always aim for the sixth string, third fret with your second finger as the leading finger for that particular chord. Now, like we said when we were changing from A to D, the D chord, I'd like you to lead with your first finger, going to the third string, second fret. So I'll just demonstrate these two chord changes going from G major to D major, and I'm going to be leading with my second finger, leading then to D with my first finger. So I'll place my fingers in the G position to start with. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Leading with my first finger, play the D chord back, second finger, and then the other fingers. Leading with my first finger, leading with my second finger, leading with my first finger, leading with my second finger. And as I'm changing between these two chords, my wrist is moving in and out like this. So from the D chord, my wrist is pretty much straight. And as I move from the D chord to the G chord, I move my wrist backwards and forwards like this. It allows me to offer the tips of my fingers to the G chord and then the tips of my fingers to the D chord. So again, let's try this together, starting from G, moving to D. And we'll do this as an exercise, letting each chord ring for 4 counts and doing that 4 times. G major to D. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time, back to the G chord, after 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to practice the chord changes E to G, G to D, D to A, and you can isolate them like this. You can just play E to G for a bit of practice, do a G to D chord change as a bit of practice, A to D, before you go on to try all 4 together. So it just allows your practice to be broken up and really sort of hone your skill on particular chord shapes. You will notice that from my point of view, somebody who's been playing for quite a long time, and if you watch other guitar players, their fingers seem to move all together at the same time. So the muscle memory that you develop in your arm and your hand will eventually move, your fingers and that will move all together. So my D chord will all come down at the same time, and eventually you'll develop that skill too. But let's move on now to put all 4 chords together. with a nice sort of bit of strumming as well.